Hello again, and welcome back to our series on intellectual property. Today, we're going to be talking about copyrights and what they actually are. Most people think of them as one right, and it's in the name, the right to copy something. But there are a handful of very important rights that we need to talk that work along with that right to copy. But first, here's my quick introduction. My name is Jeff Keiser, and by now I think you all know all about me. Here's something that I haven't mentioned before, is that I am an enormous movie buff, and I've seen thousands of movies. I love them all. I'm also a world traveler. I've been to over 65 countries, and I'm currently coming to you from Rio de Janeiro. I love the law, and I love language, and I hope that you've enjoyed sharing some time with me. This is an old stamp that was made years ago by somebody that copyrights will protect you from pirates. And that's really the truth here, is that pirates, at least when we're talking about copyright, will take your material, copy it, and sell it. We're not talking about Pirates of the Caribbean here, but these are just as dangerous when it comes to your valuable intellectual property. So rather than thinking of copyright as one right, you should think of it as an entire bundle of rights. First, obviously, is the one that's in the name. It's the right to reproduce, or the right to copy. But there is also the right to make derivative works. That is, if you write the book, you can stop somebody from making the movie, or at least you can make them pay you to make the movie. Distribution. You can stop people from distributing copies of your work after they've copied it. Performance is another one, especially in the world of music or a play. And finally, the right to display a work publicly. That belongs only to the copyright holder, not to anyone else. These are the exclusive rights that the copyright holder owns. And you can sell or license or transfer any of them or all of them. It's up to you. If you hold the rights, you can do what you like with them. A derivative work. We touched on this earlier, but it's basically a copyrighted work that comes from another copyrighted work. There has to be major differences for that derivative work to be copyrightable. It has to be sufficiently original and creative to be copyrightable by itself. So think about it. If you take an opera and you want to write a book based on the same story, you might be able to do that. But it needs to be so different that it will not infringe on the trademark of the opera. This is a very delicate balancing act that lawyers weave to make derivative works work. And it's an interesting subject of law to look at. You know, we can consider a new edition of a book to be a derivative work, or even a translation. Definitely a sequel. That's something that makes sense, right? If you make Star Wars, you don't want somebody else making Star Wars too. You can look at a book that's been produced to a play or a film. You can look at a different arrangement of a musical composition. These are all derivative works that the copyright protects you from, unless it's drastically different. Unless you've changed the content to a point where it's not just ripping off that first copyright. So And that's how it works all the time. If there's a book that becomes very popular, the movie studios will rush to throw money at them to license a movie version of that book. Now, once that happens, unfortunately for the author of the book, there's not much they can do to stop them from changing it. They might change lines of dialogue. They may change what a character looks like. But as long as they've licensed the derivative rights to that movie studio, then it's in the movie studio's hands. That's why contracts are so important when it comes to intellectual property law. You always want to know what you're giving up and how it's going. And like we talked about before, remember that at least in the United States, any copyright only lasts the life of the author plus 70 years. So, we can look at celebrities that have died in the last decade and wonder, will all of David Bowie's music be public domain in 65 years? And the answer is yes. Yes, it will. Okay. That wraps up this video of copyright, and we'll be moving on to copyright 3. What exactly can we copyright? Stay tuned for that. I'll be right back with it, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.